If you're a dodo, maybe you don't know. Maybe you have wings that don't do a thing. Maybe there's something to all that is nothing. No looking back though, the way of the dodo. But if we can be great, extinction could be sane. Adventure and romance, mystery and nonsense. Some fear and some hope, bullying and all those. So maybe we all know the way of the dodo.
Hey, everybody, it's me, your GM, Isaac Allen Burns, on this, an episode of DodoBorne, an actual play Daggerheart podcast. I'm here today with three very lovely, beautiful people. Say hi, Rowan Collins.
Hello.
Nice.
Squawk.
And to the left of Rowan Collins, we have Annie Hawthorne. Say hi to the folks.
Squawk. That's Dodo for hi.
Canon. Now everyone knows what we've been saying. And not just anybody, but 30 degrees from center from Annie, we've got Joe Diamity.
Squawk. That's good night.
The inflection. I heard
it's
it.
both hello and good night.
Good morning, good evening, and good night. And it's me, your GM, Isaac Allen Burns. Nice to meet you. I don't know if we've met before. Hi. Now, last time that we met our heroes, they had just met each other at the Bracken Road Adventuring Guild. Bracken Road is a small city not known for much except for its delicious apples. And the Adventuring Guild is a place where these three have come together to, get stronger, to protect the town, to prove to themselves things. And, generally, because, you got to do a job. These three, however, were tasked to go to a turnip farm and find out where those dang turnips went. Getting there, though, they met not only the farmer, but they met a couple turnips who had some very interesting things to say. And our heroes were last seen going through the forests following the nose of a dodo as they made their way to discover what ate those turnips. Winding through trees and through the deep forest you go, following this dodo the whole way, wondering what it is that could have eaten that thing, green and long and big mouth. And also veiny, very vascular, one could say. As you're making your way through, eventually the trail ends, little dodo, at a stream. It's a long stream, maybe about 20 feet wide from where it is. There was rain a couple of days ago, and though the river had crested yesterday, today it is still quite full. As you stand on the banks, little dodo, it is odd. The trail just seems to vanish. It's really strange. For the two people behind our dodo friend, can you all roll me, in this moment, an instinct check?
Yep.
That is a 15. That's fear for me.
Incredible.
I'm very afraid this game.
I have an 8 with fear.
This is incredible. See, listeners, when GM move is to occur, that doesn't mean it has to immediately happen. In fact, things can happen between then. And because all three of these people rolled with fear, that means something rather exciting is going to happen. You see, it dawns on you, Pistachio, that perhaps the reason that the trail has ended here at the banks is maybe because whatever it was you're following is in the water. Crank, you notice that there are two beady eyes that are looking up from the water. And you notice that just in time for an enormous mouth to come up out of the water and bite into poor little Pistachio.
Look out!
Pistachio, does a 9 hit you?
No. Yes, it does.
So,
does.
gang, listeners, we're going to enter into combat. Now, we just started with an attack roll, a surprising attack roll in this point to start what is combat. You see, me, the GM, your GM, Isaac Allen Burns, just rolled a D20. I, as a GM, roll a D20 while the rest rolled 2 D12s. The number that I roll is compared against the evasion score of the person that adversary is attacking. If it beats it, I then get to roll damage. And however high I roll gets to determine how much damage gets done. So, as this eel-gator leaps out of the water and attacks.
Is Pistachio standing very close to me?
Yes, Pistachio is standing very close to you.
Well, I would like to use an ability of mine called I Am Your Shield. And it says when an ally very close to you is going to take damage, you may mark a stress to stand in its way and take the damage instead.
Ooh.
That is
Reduce
incredible.
the damage by a value equal to your strength trait. You may also reduce the damage by spending armor slots.
So, everybody, that brings up another key point is armor slots. Now, as you know, armor is something that many people can wear. When you take damage after an attack roll beats your evasion score, you can choose to decrease the number of that damage so that perhaps it goes under the damage threshold. Each player has a major and a severe damage threshold. If the damage that I roll gets higher than those, you take more HP of damage. So, in this case, Crank, there is 15 points of damage going towards Pistachio right now. And as you stand in the way, being the only one to notice the beady eyes, these jaws clamp on your arm. You take 15 points of damage. However, you decrease it by your strength trait. What is your strength trait?
+2.
Incredible. So you actually take 13 points of damage. How does that compare to your thresholds?
13 points of damage is over my major damage threshold, but I am going to decrease that a further 5 with one of my armor slots, and that will be a minor damage, 1 HP.
That is minor damage. So Crank is only going to take 1 HP. Crank, what happens in this moment as you take this damage?
I think I very instinctually reach across in front of Pistachio with one of my big gauntlets that I wear, and the eel-gator gets my wrist instead of Pistachio, and I pull Pistachio back out of the reach.
Oh my god.
The eel-gator snaps down on your wrist, and it stings, but does not hurt you too bad. So we are now in combat. To step out a little bit, hi, it's me, your GM, Isaac Allen Burns. Combat works a little different in this one than some other popular tabletop role-playing games. For instance, there is no initiative. This is a back and forth conversation between all of us on what happens. To put a little bit of discretization and mechanics to this, the players are going to take turns making moves. Those moves could require a roll, and if it does require a roll, then they place a token on the action tracker. This bowl that I have right here will have action tracking tokens inside of it. And every time they make an action, a token is going to go in there. Now you might be wondering, well, when do you get to go, Isaac? Don't you get to play? The answer is yes. If at any point in time, any of them roll with fear, then the GM gets to take a move. And I can't wait to find out what happens. Also, at any point in time, with any of the fear that I have banked up from previous rolls, I can choose to interrupt anything and have that happen. Now, in this case, because of the fear that just happened in that last one, and because of the fear moves that I chose to take in these moments, I only currently have 2 fear, the 2 fear that I started the game with. So I can't wait to find out what happens. Without further ado, let's set the stage. The 3 of you are standing at the bank of a small stream, probably about 20 foot wide. There's moderate tree cover behind you. This is not a very thick forest, so there is some tree cover. But of most importance is the being that sits before you. All of you recognize this as an eel-gator. It's a gator and an eel. I'll let your imagination do the heavy lifting. It's a large beast, and it currently just bit into your friend Crank. It has sort of taken a step back as it watches all of you. And Crank, with that 15 from earlier, you also notice another pair of beady eyes just below the water's surface, looking out at all of you. It has not leapt out of the water yet, and as you're looking at it, it's close to you, but not very close. And with that, the 3 of you, Crank has just taken a bite and is pushing Pistachio back. Kapi, you are behind the 2 of them.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. Kapi pushes forward, but like he's annoyed a little bit. He's like, I can't let 2 recruits die on their first day. And then under his breath, he mumbles again. And then he he looks back at Crank and he goes, you thought the dodo was cool. Watch this. And he's going to use Rain of Blades, which is a domain effect that he has, where I can where Kapi can spend a hope to conjure throwing blades that strike enemies very close. Make a spellcast roll, and all targets that you succeed against take d8 plus 2 magic damage using your proficiency. If any targets you hit are currently vulnerable, they take an additional 1d8 magic.
Ooh.
So he looks down at his hand, and he's got a ring on, and he holds it up, and it kind of lights up. And then he has those blades appear, and like he winks at Crank, and then he like flicks his wrist like Spider-Man, and it sends the blades towards the eel-gator.
Nice. Go ahead and make that
Gator
roll.
eel? Okay.
Eel-gator.
Eel-gator.
Eel-gator. So it's a +2 spellcast.
Very good. The difficulty that you need to beat on this creature is a 14.
All right.
It's quite high.
Fuck.
Doesn't count if it's not on the table.
Are you kidding me?
Is that crit?
No.
No.
It's a 3. A 3
Three?
with fear.
With
Almost a
fear?
crit.
That is
That's what he
not a
gets
crit.
for being obnoxious.
In this
Crank
moment,
is just impressed anyway and just goes, "You can do magic too?"
The blades just go and like literally bounce off this gator eel in every single way and do no damage.
you had actually said that Kapi did it like Spider-Man, right? So your hand is
Yeah.
currently out.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Because Kapi just rolled fear, that means the adversaries get a turn. Now, in this case, there's only one token in the action tracker, as Kapi has been the only one to take an action. So, me, the GM, your GM, Isaac Allen Burns, I'm going to activate one of the creatures. And in fact, I'm going to activate the creature that's sitting just below the surface. And Kapi, you unfortunately did not notice this one. And suddenly, an eel-gator comes for you. Does a 16 beat your evasion?
My evasion is 11, so yes.
Unfortunately, Kapi. Okay, that's going to be 11 points of damage.
All right. 11 puts me in the major damage threshold, so that's 2 HP I mark because I'm not going to use any of my armor slots yet. So.
2 HP of damage. This thing leaps out and clamps onto your arm and takes a good chunk out of your arm. It hurts bad.
Yeah. I'm yelling in pain, and I'm also like yelling, everything's under control. This is all part of standard procedure.
Pistachio is looking around, just eyes wild, bug eyes out, and just kind of looks between Crank and Kapi to see which one of them is hurt more.
You get the sense that Kapi is hurt more.
All right. Pistachio leaps from Crank's hands and like runs over and just like taps Kapi and goes, "It'll be okay." And I can spend 3 hope to clear 1d4 hit points. You get 3 hit points healed for a person that I'm touching.
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are you back to Pistachio?
I am back to Pistachio. Pistachio will have to like leap out of wild form to do that. It goes, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. Am I able to like throw it off with that?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I throw it off, and I'm like, yeah, thanks, kid.
You're welcome. Because Pistachio, that's one action. A next action, I guess, because I don't think that the GM has an action.
No.
While this
Fantastic.
is happening, as Pistachio is healing Kapi and Cappy's like shaking this thing away, I just want to punch it in the head.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to use my forceful push ability as well.
Ooh,
So I
tell
make
me
an
about that forceful
attack.
push.
Make an attack with your primary weapon in melee range. On a success, you deal damage, push the target out of melee range, and may spend a hope to make them temporarily vulnerable. On a success with hope, add an additional 1d6 to your damage die.
Wow. All right. Make that punch.
That's a crit.
Oh,
What?
For everyone
Double
listening at
tens.
home, very good. For those of us listening at home, a critical occurs when you roll 2 of the same number. That's right. You could roll double 1s or double 12s. Either way, it's a crit. So in this case, you gain a hope. You can remove a stress as well. And the way that critical damage works in this game is brutal criticals, in which case you use the maximum value of the dice. And then you go ahead and add that on top of your regular roll.
Okay,
Whoa.
so that's going to be a +8.
I'm afraid for my little eel-gator now.
Plus my 1d6 from my forceful push.
Plus that d6.
I am also going to use a hope to make this vulnerable if I don't just murder it immediately. I rolled an 8.
Holy shit.
oh God.
So that is 16 plus 1, 17 plus 6.
That's
Oh
all.
my god.
Just a little.
So that is
That's all, folks.
23.
Wow.
That's our show.
Describe how you hit this thing real hard. It's not dead, but it's wounded.
I am pulling Pistachio out of the way, and I see it go for Kapi. And I kind of just like push Pistachio a little bit more, and then Pistachio runs off to help. And I am sprinting full speed at this thing. And I just like Superman punch it like back towards the river and away from everybody.
Dang. Yeah, that total will beat its severe threshold, which means that you deal 3 HP of damage to it. And while that is not enough to kill it, that one hit sends this eel-gator reeling backwards. You see its eyes go in 2 separate directions like an iguana, and it falls into the water. The other one, still attached to Kapi, suddenly looks a little nervous.
Pistachio is going to attempt to talk to this thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
just be like, I know that Cappy's very tasty and the turnip's very tasty, but I've got really cool friend Crank here, and Crank's gonna beat the shit out of you if you don't leave us alone.
Go ahead and make that roll.
Um,
And once again, this is an instinct roll.
this is a 15 with fear.
Awesome. So that is a success.
That is a success.
But because fear happens,
It comes with a cost.
comes with a cost. And so I'm going to say the cost of this, because I'm the GM, Isaac Allen Burns, and I get to decide what that is. So you see this, and single eye goes over to the crocodile, and you hear,
I can't understand you. Spit your food out. It's not good to speak with food in your mouth. Did your mother not tell you anything about being a civilized monster? How about you take Kapi out of your mouth and we could talk about this like adults?
Yeah, take Kapi out of your mouth.
I don't know what the fuck a Kapi is.
Kapi is a cat.
Oh, I can't hear it. That's right.
That's Kapi. Kapi's the thing your mouth is wrapped around. Take Kapi out of your mouth.
Just for clarification,
yeah.
are you speaking to this thing in like whatever passes for English? Are you like screaming at this
oh,
thing
yeah.
in English,
I
and
guess
is
that-
it just like growling at you?
Yeah, like, can I
Or
understand
are you?
you?
Growling at
Yeah,
it.
or are you just having
It says, I speak the language of the hidden natural world. So I'm assuming I'm just going.
Oh, okay, well then I'm not responding at all. Then I'm just yelling in pain.
Take Kapi out of your mouth.
This thing, you did succeed at talking to it, but unfortunately, because you rolled with fear, it refuses to.
I will call your Bob.
Actually, in fact, because that was with fear, you know what that means.
No.
That means your boy gets to go.
No.
Once again, I only have one action. Actually, I have 2 because both Crank attacked and we had a little friend talk to it. This thing, in response to that, is going to take an action. Now, folks listening at home, one fun thing about fear tokens, as the GM, me, the GM, Isaac Allen Burns, is that some adversary actions involve using a fear. So, friends, this thing is going to use a fear action, and that fear action is called Pull Under.
No.
This thing is going to make an attack against you, Kapi.
Well, I noticed you were looking at me the whole time, and I was just curious. Wow, I was curious why it isn't the robot that just punched your bud
Because
through the water anime style. Like,
well,
Because you're in its mouth.
yeah.
that's
I
true. Because
know.
2 reasons. 2 reasons. Just to go into the mind of the monster, right? This thing just saw a big robot punch its brother,
Right.
really hard. So it don't want to mess with that.
Oh,
thing.
okay,
But it's
gotcha.
got you in its jaws,
Yeah.
literally. So does a 10 hit you?
Does a fucking 10 hit me? Let's look. I know it does. I don't know why I'm looking. Or no, wait, a 10?
Doesn't.
It
Compared to
doesn't.
your
No,
other
I've got 11.
No way.
Yeah, Cappy's evading fucking all over the place, bud.
This thing isn't able to pull you under.
Yeah,
Well, fuck.
that's right.
Well,
Take him out of
thankfully, well, so that was one adversary action that I had to
Yeah.
spend. I get to spend as many adversary actions as I would like during this and activate as many of them as I would like to. The limit being I can only activate one individual at a time. So that thing had its turn. The other one that just got punched to hell and back takes one look at the big thing and goes under the water and vanishes. And that's its turn. Kapi, you almost got pulled under, but you were able to not. And in fact, I'll say that your hand is no longer in its mouth. You were able to get out of its grasp.
Yeah, it's like bleeding really bad.
It is, yeah.
It
It's smarts.
Kapi looks back at, the giant robot that is like really punching above its rookie weight and looks at the tiny little Pistachio that just saved Kapi's ass. And I feel like that awakens a darkness inside Kapi that he's probably going to try to mask as like being a hero.
Darkness.
He's going to take his dagger out. And I mean, he's going to follow this thing in the water, just trying to like stab it like overhead into his skull.
Ooh, go for it. Make that attack.
All right. So +2 finesse. I literally can't roll. Like, how is this a fucking thing? It's a 7 with hope.
Hey, you get a hope though.
Get a hope.
I do get a
You
hope.
can
I'm
get-
going to mark hope.
You can use your hope too if you have hope things with
I
your
don't
experience.
think I actually have hope things.
And did you add your
I think
modifier
with
too?
If I can spend a hope
new-
to take advantage on a roll I make to deceive or trick.
I feel like with the new 1.5, there's like class features now, or like unique hope features for your class.
Yeah, you're
Oh, is it rogue hope?
spend 3 hope to increase my sneak. It's all about being sneaky.
Being
Got it.
sneaky. Unfortunately, you were caught unawares on this one.
Yeah.
Kapi,
That's all right. Give it. Kapi wants it.
Kapi does want it. What
Fucking do
happened?
it.
Why did Kapi? What happened? What happens? Describe what happens for me.
Kapi goes in just like stabbing, but he's just like stabbing water. And it's like real dramatic. Like the camera's on him and it's like, the camera up, like showing him stabbing and the music's just like going real dramatic and the water's going left and right like a wave. And then it just cuts out to Crank and Pistachio's view. And it's just silent. Like it's just like him splashing in
You're
the water.
splashing.
Like the thing isn't there. And yeah.
You see the thing? You look over and actually the gator is like standing next to Pistachio and Craig, also watching you. Really uncomfortable.
I'm finding out Kapi has maybe anger issues.
I think Kapi is going through some stuff, but Pistachio and Craig, as your friend is stabbing into the water, the gator is not in the water. It made it onto land.
So speaking of that, are you gonna stop now that why did you eat the turnips?
Are we seriously still talking? Is this what we're doing right now?
Well, it's either that or he punches you again and I'm gonna bite you real hard.
You bite me?
Yeah. I'm
Crank.
gonna bite you.
Crank is like looking back and forth between Pistachio growling at this eel-gator and Kapi like splashing in the water, just like
I'm
kind of like there are multiple Spider-Mans.
Pistachio, because this thing is not helping, will take another stress to beast form into a pack predator, which
Ooh.
in this case is just going to be a bulkier dodo. Because it's a dodo with like a really sharp beak. Okay. So the thing about the pack predator is that when I make an attack roll on the same target as an ally right before you, so like I guess this would be Kapi, but it's not working. But that doesn't matter. I'm going to just attack. That's what I'm doing.
Here we go.
Here we go. Boom. Oof. And that's a 9 to not hit.
A 9 will unfortunately not hit.
Ow.
Unfortunately, this thing is still. And the dice are telling us that these things don't want to be helpful. Crank, you notice the gator dodges deftly this attack from a dodo, and it looks at you and makes a split decision who to go for.
I'm going to, as it dodges, bring my fist up on the direction it's dodging in.
Well, unfortunately, going to try to, but we rolled with fear. So now it's my turn, everybody. So Crank isn't able to do that quite yet because this thing's going to take a bite at Pistachio.
What? Yeah.
Does a 12 hit you?
It does.
Oh, gotta hate that. This is just a normal attack by this thing. That is 10 damage.
You said 10. Thanks. It is definitely major damage, though.
Oh, gotta hate that. That's
Since
the
I
end of its
cleared
turn
my
now.
stress by rolling that crit, I'm going to use I Am Your Shield again.
Oh.
And as it opens its mouth to bite Pistachio, I'm just going to shove my fist into it.
So, pie on my face, that thing I said where that doesn't happen, Craig, actually that does happen. That thing you did earlier absolutely does happen, except that the jaws clamp down on your arm once again. Is it the same arm or a different arm?
It's a different one.
Oh, the second arm.
Yeah,
Your other arm
that's
gets
the other
big.
arm. I do have this fancy feature though from my subclass that I forgot about the first
Uh-oh.
time. It says whenever I take physical damage, always reduce it by your armor score before applying it to your thresholds. So any damage that I take is automatically lowered by 5.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Damn.
Wow.
Crank be beefy, yo.
Yeah.
Well, Crank, you
Wow.
take that bite and it doesn't hurt as bad as you were thinking it would.
I'm still gonna take 1 HP though, because that's the minimum.
It is the minimum, unfortunately. This gator looks at all of you. Once again, we've rolled so much fear that this gator won't be helpful, unfortunately. And it hasn't actually gotten hit yet, so it's just sort of stunting on y'all. It's fronting. What do y'all do? Cappy, you're still splashing in the water. I think at this point, Cappy, you probably realize there's no gator down there.
Yeah. I like turn around and I see the gator up there. I'm like, what did you?
It's up here, Kapi.
I guess I'm just gonna. Cappy has to get a move, right?
Cappy has to get moved.
I'm just
yeah,
gonna
Cappy's here.
run up and try to stab it again.
Stab it
My
again.
dagger.
It's not even looking at you right now. You totally hit it.
Okay.
Oh,
Does this count as a stealth attack?
ooh, does it?
Oh, yeah. Does it?
Because it's
I
not
guess
even
it's a
paying
good
attention
question.
to Kapi.
Well, yeah. It's you said it's not looking.
How about this?
I
If
am
you, so the fun thing about Daggerheart is that you can take kind of multiple turns in a moment. So in this case, why don't you try and stealth up to this thing and make a stealth check?
That is 13 with hope.
13. In this case, I'm going to say that because this thing is not focused on you, the difficulty for this will be shorter. Sorry, not shorter. It'll be a smaller DC. So I'm going to say that 13 does succeed.
So I have a move called Rogue's Hope.
Yeah, you do.
Thank you, Rowan. That says
No problem.
spend 3 hope.
Rowan.
It says spend 3 hope to increase your sneak attack damage until your next short rest. You add 3d6 instead of 1d6 to each attack or to each sneak attack damage roll. So it's a
Incredible.
3d6 damage.
Nice.
Oh,
Holy
crit.
shit.
That's
Oh.
a crit, and I get one more.
Well, this is damage, so it doesn't really
yeah.
crit.
You're right. All right, fine. Whatever. All right, it's 12, 13, 14, 15. Does that hit?
15 damage?
Yeah.
15 damage.
That does hit. Oh my god. Yeah, you stab into this thing. Cappy, what?
Okay, I want to
Describe
rewind
it.
because I was
Rewind
a
it,
little,
yeah.
I was a little like I had my steam pulled.
You
from,
did?
from
What?
the wind pulled from my sail, but now I'm back. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So what's happening?
yeah,
Cappy?
like I'm like splashing in the water. And I like turn around and fucking Pistachio's a dodo again, and the robot is, just kind of like looking at things and then Cappy's gonna like mutter under his breath like he had any control under the situation, as if like I can't believe this is happening again. He's gonna like storm up to it, and then he's gonna like take. Well, he's not gonna storm. He's gonna sneak storm.
Sneak
He's
storm.
very sneakily pouting
Storm quietly.
as he walks up, and he's gonna like pull both blades. He's gonna like throw them up in the air, grab them, and then do like a left and a right, like a 1-2 like stab with and then
nice.
pull down.
Ooh,
Ooh.
2 big gashes in the side of this gator as it yells in pain. Pistachio, you hear it say, God, what the fuck?
I told you you would regret it.
Oh, that hurt. Fuck. Good job. You stab into the back of it, Cappy. The other 2, you see Cappy's back in action and is stabbed into the 2 of it. How do you respond? What do you do?
That's our boss. We gotta get it.
I've got my fist in this thing's mouth still. So I just want to like bring my other fist and just like right on top of its head.
Give it the old razzle dazzle.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Hit the old one too.
It's the old one too. This one's not the vulnerable one.
That's correct. The vulnerable one is run away.
It's gone. Imagine if that was another crit. That is
That would have been really
only
funny.
my strength so +2. It's only a 9.
Oh no. With hope or fear.
Ooh, can I
Wait.
add my experience?
Well, real fast. Is that with hope or fear?
That is with hope.
Oh, okay.
But if I add my experience, I think it'll be a 12.
Ooh.
Because my experience is Battleborn.
Ooh.
And as part of my heritage, is it? My ancestry, I have purposeful design. So I was able to choose an experience that reflects why I was created and increase it by 1. So my Battleborn experience is +3.
That's awesome. That will unfortunately still miss.
It is with hope though, so mark a hope.
You do mark a
That's with
hope. You try and get it on, and this thing is kind of thrashing in pain, and you just sort of glance off the side of its head. It's not really hard. It's tough to hit someone in the head, Pistachio, you're a dodo right now, and your friends are on top of this gator. What do you do?
Pistachio looks at Kapi, who is their boss, and Crank, who is their new best friend, and is like, they are both attacking this thing, and so words will not help. So they are just gonna go up. They like grind their feet, right? And they attack with their giant sharp beak. Also, I will mention that because this is something that was just attacked by somebody next to it, this
Uh-oh.
increases. So yeah, this is going to be.
I'm scared.
This is
Be
a
the gator.
17 with hope,
Holy shit.
and
Ow.
yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt, I think.
No, not me, the gator. No, don't hit me.
Great. 9 damage, and I'm gonna mark a stress to make this one vulnerable.
Yeah, you bop this thing on the head. You stab into it with your powerful. Actually, what am I doing? How do you attack this thing? What am I doing?
I bite it with my big. As a pistachio opens up their mouth, you see that this dodo has like a shark's teeth.
Oh,
Just
God.
like several layers of teeth. It's kind of
Oh, a
disgusting
nightmare.
and
A
terrifying.
nightmare. Oh, no.
I love that.
It takes a little bit of creative liberties, I think, because a dodo does not have teeth, but this one sure does, and it's got rows of them,
It's
and
a
it just
goose
like
dodo.
onto it.
Oh, my God.
And it tears. They just like try to almost emulate a gator roll with shark teeth as a dodo, just like rolling at this thing.
Oh, my God. He's like, it's that mouth from that one episode of Powerpuff Girls. Oh, my God. Nice.
I think you just aged yourself.
Fuck. That's true. I am 30. So the gator does get hit, does get bit, and it's not happy about what's happening. You can tell the gator is very upset and is not happy, but it's getting pummeled still and can't quite get its bearings. The three of you can continue on. You've still got the upper hand on this thing. How do you continue? What do you do? Crank, Kapi, what do you do? Gator getting gator rolled.
I'm going to use my unstoppable class
Ooh.
feature.
What's that?
So, once per long rest, you can decide to become unstoppable. You gain an unstoppable die, which begins as a D4. Place it next to you, with the 1 facing up. Whenever I deal 1 or more hit points to an adversary, increase the unstoppable die value by 1. When I increase the value above the die's highest number, or when the scene ends, remove the die and drop out of unstoppable. While unstoppable,
Wow.
you gain resistance to physical damage.
What?
Increase your current armor score by your proficiency.
What?
Add the current value of your unstoppable die to your damage dice total. Cannot become restrained or vulnerable. So
Holy
I
shit.
am going to do that.
1.6 removes this feature. I'm just kidding.
Crank's eyes are going to glow red. They are normally kind of a soft white yellow light, but in this mode that he has, they are red. And I am just, so I'm kind of just gonna like bang my fists together, you know?
Ooh.
And like enter unstoppable mode, and I'm gonna hit this thing as hard as I can.
Swing.
Swing, swing.
Swing away.
We're dating ourselves again.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay. We're all in our 30s.
We're all in our 30s.
What's the number I need to hit? A 14?
14.
So I am going to add my Battleborn experience to this one. So I'll spend a hope to do that. And
Do
that's
it.
going to make it exactly 14 with fear.
With fear.
And so,
Roll damage.
oh my god. I went from rolling max to rolling min. That's a 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3.
Well, that is enough to deal an HP of damage.
And my unstoppable die goes to 2.
Crank. When was the last time you entered this state?
I think that the last time Crank entered this state was right before he lost his mentor in battle. I think he probably entered this state, tried to run in and save them, and was blasted back before he could succeed on that.
And as the GM, once again, I can choose to spend fear tokens however I would like. And in this case, Crank, those memories simply bubble back, as vivid and as painful as they were the first time it happened. And as you feel the soft, fleshy thump of your fist going into the gator, you see the gator looks up at you with two eyes, and they turn for just a moment into eyes that you recognize as not a gator's, but instead as your old mentors. For just a split most second, for those eyes now look at you as vacant as dead, because you have killed the gator.
And stay dead.
I think Crank just stands there for a moment, kind of like lost in thought, kind of like not here in this moment.
Craig, are you okay? Oh, Craig.
And at the second sound of my name, I will snap back. And I'll just say, yes, I'm fine.
Whoa.
What were the red eyes?
Oh, that's my battle mode.
Oh, that was kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Sorry, I that's just the way I was designed. It happens sometimes.
It was
Craig?
also really cool.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's kind of what I was built for. So I'm good at it.
You see Kapi like eyeing you. Like, oh. Oh,
Anyway,
Cranky's got a dark side.
I'm just gonna turn around and walk away from you because I'm not in the mood to be joked with.
Well, you have a bit of a dark side too, don't ya?
Oh, no.
You,
Just lovable Kapi.
well, you did like eviscerate that thing with its guts were starting to pull out. you
Well,
know that?
Junior Cadet, it's all about keeping your calm in situations. Sometimes you have to walk in, assess, and then take action.
Oh,
I notice you're not taking notes.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
back to strike one.
Oh no! Oh gosh! All right. Sorry. Take action. Take action. Can you explain the part about attacking the water? Was that to scare off the other one?
That was really just testing you, Cadet. I wanted to
Oh.
make sure you were paying attention. And hey, you're back down to no strikes. Great job.
Yes.
As you two follow Crank back towards town, we stay there for a moment and we go downstream a little bit, further down the stream. And on the banks, coming out of the trees, is a man. Not just any man, a man we've seen before, a faun. This faun is wearing a vest, and he reaches up to his face, pulls at the sides of it a little bit, and takes down what is clearly a mask. We see a dwarven man, bald, beardless, no hair on his head and face, and looking very tired. He sighs heavily, pulls out a piece of paper and reads it one more time, mutters under his breath, "Only got 2 weeks left." And that's where it will end this session of DodoBorne.
DodoBorne.
DodoBorne. Hey, hit us with that outro music.
Boom.
Hey, it's a podcast.